Where do you start with the lies? How do you start unraveling this majority rules? The foundation of democracy is that the majority rules. And in the United States, 80% of the population doesn't believe Sasquatch is real. 20% believe it's real. 1 in 5 people. And as I mentioned in an earlier video, in fact, I'm going to relate a story to you. One of the guys that I work with came from California. He's a surfer guy. He grew up in the northern California coast. And his brother had an encounter with Sasquatch and didn't tell him about it for 2 years. His own brother. Because he thought that he would think that he was foolish. That's how deep the fear of ridicule goes. Now, this encounter, this guy's brother, it was at twilight, I guess, or getting dark. And he had other people, there were other people there. They saw this, I think they thought it was a person, or they weren't sure what it was. Oh, they thought it was a bear, that's right, but it was upright. And they realized it wasn't a bear when the thing scooted down and boom, 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 thumped the ground. Made this like aggressive display, and they got the heck out of there. Like it, you know, scared them, so they left. And it took him 2 years before he finally told his brother about it. And this is in Northern California, probably the one spot on the planet where, you know, if you tell somebody about Sasquatch, you've got the least fear of being ridiculed. You know, you got a greater fear of being ridiculed in other spots because it's not that common, not commonly spoken about, talked about. It's not that it's not common. The encounters themselves are incredibly common. To prove this to yourself, just go and look at Bufo's database. There are pin marks everywhere across North America. And probably for every one of those pin marks, conservatively, maybe there's 100 sightings that go unreported. Because, I mean, Lady K's had a couple sightings. I've now had a couple sightings. We haven't reported these to Bufo. We're not in Bufo's database. Probably a whole bunch of you guys that have told me that you've seen Sasquatch. Not that many of you guys. A few of you will tell me, hey, I reported to the Bufo, but most of you don't. A lot of you don't report it to anybody. You don't report it to your husband or your wife. You don't report it to your brother or your sister. You don't report it to your parents, let alone your friends. And some people, even if they do report it, they want their identity kept secret for fear of ridicule. That's how deeply ingrained these paradigms, these concepts are. And I've gone over this before about how people will say, well, you know, the government doesn't lie. It's too big. They can't keep something like that a secret. That's what they'll say about the aliens. Oh, they can't keep it secret. This position is not upheld by the facts. The facts are that, yeah, our government's really good at keeping secrets. NSA, no such agency was kept a secret. The Manhattan Project, when they developed the atomic bomb, was kept secret. Nobody knew about the atomic bomb except the people involved in that project until we dropped the bomb on some people, right? That was the first that the public knew about it. MKUltra was a top secret program investigating mind control where they tested stuff on civilians without their knowledge. Operation Paperclip, where we recruited Nazis to help us build rockets. Also top secret. Top secret. Secret. That's when they say something's top secret, by definition, you and I don't know about it. I know you guys are struggling, those of you that are privy to the Sasquatch reality. You struggle with this with your coworkers and with your friends and with your relatives. It's like, where do you start? You know, you tell them you saw something, they're going to label you as the fool. And how do you prove it? like you're facing this colossal hurdle of trying to get this information together and trying to say, well, I don't know. I don't know why they're keeping it secret. A lot of people wonder if the government knows about Bigfoot. And knowing what I know now, that Sasquatch and UFOs are intertwined, there's ample evidence. I mean, it's ridiculous. What do they call it? A riches of something. Like this, it's mind-blowing the amount of documentation, the amount of information that the government's hiding from us. I'm going to put a link down here to the Black Vault. It's a repository of Freedom of Information obtained documents that prove that the government is involved in the UFO phenomenon and is involved in keeping information from us. Now, how deep down that rabbit hole you want to go, that's up to you, but it's not debatable. This is not a debate that the government keeps secrets. It's not a debate that the government knows about UFOs. And when you consider that MUFON, the National UFO reporting database, has in there that somewhere along the lines of 15% or more of abductees or people that have had encounters with UFOs and their occupants report hairy hominids. The hairy hominids, Bigfoot, is connected to the UFO phenomenon. Now, the most ridiculous thing, as I said, it's the super pointy stick. The most ridiculous thing you can question is the shape of the planet. Because we all know it's round. Like, what does it have to do with Sasquatch? What it has to do with Sasquatch is it's the same organism. It's the same corporate, military, government secret mentality that hides information from us. Now, I don't know. You know, people, oh, you think the Earth is flat? I don't know. But one thing I can prove to you very quickly is that we are not getting correct information. Think about if someone was to say to you, you know, aside from the fact that they tell you that Bigfoot's not real, let's say someone was to tell you, oh, the planet's flat. And after you got done chuckling, they'd say, well, prove it. Prove the Earth is round. Well, just go on Google. Go ahead, go on Google. The first thing that's going to come up is the blue marble. This beautiful picture of planet Earth. There's one huge problem with this. It's not accurate. It's not a picture of the planet like you think it is. There are no pictures of the planet. That's what really will blow your mind when you start investigating this. There's no pictures of planet Earth. There are photoshopped images that they claim are, you know, composite scans that they've put together. They can't get the size of the continents correct. Now, for some of you, that's like no problem. Like, oh, we don't care if they got the continents correct. Think about this for a minute. NASA, space agency, that prides itself on its mathematical precision, the ability to put things in and out of orbit, to send tiny little satellites vast distances into outer space, and to hit the mark perfectly, to hit a planet millions and millions and millions, hundreds of millions of miles away, to hit it so perfectly that they can put that tiny little satellite into orbit, get caught in that gravity well. This is what they tell us that they can do. But they're incapable of taking these composite images. They're incapable of providing us with an accurate photo of Earth. You would think at this point, with hundreds of thousands of satellites supposedly whizzing around the planet, that at least a few of them would be aimed at the planet and would be taking a picture of planet Earth. They claim they have one now that takes pictures of it, but it looks like a cartoon. Why is this so difficult? Why is it so difficult? They've got an animation, a series of stills they claim, that shows the moon crossing the Earth. Now, supposedly, this is from a satellite that is in a orbiting position that's the perfect spot between the Earth and the Sun, so that it can look at the Earth and just stays in this stable orbit. In other words, it's always looking at the same spot, planet Earth. Of course, the Earth is spinning. This seems all well and good until you look at the photos of, that, well, because I know you guys are going to say this. Wow, we have pictures of planet Earth. The astronauts took pictures, Michael, when they were on the moon. The problem with that is that the moon is the Earth in those pictures is way too small. It's very tiny. Now, just recently, I think it was the Chinese claimed that they took pictures from the moon of Earthrise, and the Earth is huge. It's like 20 times bigger than the ones that the NASA astronauts took. So, which one is correct? Who do we believe? When it boils right down to it, you don't have the chain of custody. We don't have the chain of custody on these photos. We don't know what type of manipulation they're going through. We don't know what type of Photoshop. NASA itself admits to Photoshopping all of these images. And just a quick search and you'll see that the color of the ocean changes, the color of the clouds changes, the size of the continents change. Are we to believe that we're on a planet that's constantly morphing? Or is it just total bullshit? Is all of this bullshit? A lot of us, once we realize that Sasquatch is real, we want to know stuff. Where'd they come from? What are they doing? What are they? How do they remain hidden? We have all these questions. But for some of us, it stops there. For some of us, we start to think, hey, what else? What else have we been kept in the dark about? What else about this place, about this reality we find ourselves in, are we being misled about? I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a valid question.